Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Rabo, a palliative care physician and the host for today's Day of Remembering. I wanted to welcome all of you to UCSF's Day of Remembering. Today's service is to honor those we love who have died. And I want to welcome all who are here, all the loved ones, family and friends, children, parents, siblings, the UCSF clinicians and staff. I want to thank you for joining this grief Zoom, this memorial celebration. We've been hosting a Day of Remembering at UCSF for about 14 years now. And it is an event for all the members of the UCSF community. Over the last couple of years, we've moved on to Zoom for the ceremony in the context of the pandemic. We'll have a series of readings and reflections and a closing ritual. And I encourage everyone to take the next 50 minutes or so as a special quiet moment out of what I know are very busy and very difficult days. Today we are here to honor those we love who have died. We are here to grieve our own personal, sometimes even private losses. For the healthcare workers here, we're here to honor patients who we've cared for who have died, and importantly, to express our gratitude for being able to bear witness to your families and your love. Grief is often defined as the pain that we experience with the loss of someone we love, the pain we experience. Importantly, though, grief is also how loss heals. It's been said that grief has to be, that if you love, you will grieve. That grief is human. That grief is normal. But grief is clearly different for everyone. And I invite everyone to experience what you experience, knowing that that's what's right for you now. Grief is what heals loss. And to start us off, I wanted to invite our opening speaker, Dr. Michelle Moran. She's a professor in the Division of Hospital Medicine. She's the vice chair of the Department of Medicine. And I think she is an example of the best that UCSF leadership has to offer, both for her intellect and effectiveness, and perhaps even more for the heart that she brings to her work. Michelle.
Thanks to you, Mike, and welcome to all who have gathered with us. On behalf of the UCSF family, we stand with you. We share in your loss and in your grief. Today, we remember. Today, we close our eyes and fill our hearts with those who have died. We remember warm hugs, soft laughter, familiar smiles. Today, we hold together the glow of their remembrance with the pain of our loss, recognizing that they are one and the same. Today, we purposefully, intentionally take out those memories, allowing emotion to overwhelm us, honoring them with our thoughts. And in doing so, we can change the conversation about death. Too often when we speak of death, we speak of it through the language of medicine, a focus on treatment, recovery, and cure. Death is often perceived as the failure to cure, rather than as evidence of the precious frailty of our lives. And grief too often gets wrapped up in this same language as a problem to be solved, as an individual and medical problem, as if bereavement is a crisis to be resolved and normal grieving behaviors are incorrect or maladaptive. But who is to say? My mother still has a box of her father's old clothes. My good friend still cries when she speaks of her sister. My husband displays a photograph of him and his father thumbtacked to a board in our kitchen. I have a saved voicemail from my grandmother that I play every year on her birthday. As someone wisely once said, grief is just love with no place to go. In Judaism, we look at this grief and instead we call it mourning. Because mourning, unlike grief, is a process. And it's not linear with stages we must march through, but instead it's the spiral that starts close and tight with daily mourning and prayer, circling outwards with gatherings at a week, a month, and a year after the death. Scholars have helped us understand that rather than something to recover from, mourning is the process of redefining a relationship, our continuing love for someone who is no longer physically present, a process of recreating a meaningful world and our place in it, following the loss of someone who was so central to it. And as this spiral unfolds, we pass the same points over and over: anniversaries, birthdays, milestones without them, a love continually revisited. The idea that I can continue to mourn, and in doing so, keep and redefine my relationship with those I have lost, has been incredibly comforting to me. And it reminds me of a poem by W.S. Merwin that I wanted to share with you. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle. Everything I do is stitched with its color. Though we come together today, for the day of remembering, we have never forgot. Instead, we have been transformed by the memory of those that we have lost and by their absence. Those of us at UCSF are transformed too, by being allowed to be a part of your love, your loss, and your mourning process. Everything we do is stitched with its color. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle, so much. We now have a musical performance of the song I Will Follow You Into the Dark. This is performed by Timothy Bray, who's the UCSF Fire Marshal, and Dawn Orlando, the UCSF Medical Center Facilities Project Manager. Tim and Dawn have been part of the Day of Remembering for so many years, and I thank them again for joining us today.
Love of mine, someday you will die, but I will be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark. No blinding lights, the tunnels of gates of white, just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on that vacancy sign. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I will follow you into the dark. Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule, I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black. I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the noses on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of our shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now. There's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the blackest of rooms. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the noses on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, I'll follow you into the dark. I'll follow you into the dark.
Thank you for that. It's my honor to introduce Jeannie Slynn, for a family reflection. Jeannie is the wife of Richard Slynn.
Thank you. I'm going to read a letter that Rich wrote to us and his friends um, a few months before he died. If I can get through this. To Ella, Dex, and Jeannie, to the family I was lucky enough to be born with, and to the family I was lucky enough to pick up along the way. I'm gone now. I wish I wasn't, but I want to try and put my feelings about this and about you and about my life into words. And I want to thank you for being such a big part of what made my life so lucky and wonderful. I lived and I died a happy man, and I would not change places with anyone, even now, because I got to share this life with all of you. I'm not a religious person. I've tried to respect those who do believe in a supreme being, but I don't get it. To me, it seems too simple. To me, the miracle of billions of years of evolution, of the improbable odds and the countless small changes and mutations and struggles that led humans to our conscious brains and that resulted in Walt Whitman and Jackson Pollock and Bob Dylan, are somehow diminished by the easier answer that God simply created us just as we are. I like that humans needed luck and hard work to get where we are. I like the tenacity it required to fight against those long odds. I like that we evolve and grow and that we had to earn it. Free will makes me value what we have even more and not less. It makes me see and value people for their individual qualities and contributions more and not less. It helps me to keep my eyes open to the small daily joys all around us and to be more grateful for those small things. If we begin as star stuff and end by being recycled back into the earth, that's okay with me, because everything between that beginning and that ending is exciting and fun and scary and amazing and thrilling. Everything between that beginning and ending is worth savoring. And yet, I still want to believe that there is more to life than we can see and touch, that somehow we are connected to each other by karma or by the golden rule or by random acts of kindness. That living well and doing good does have an impact on how we journey through this world, even if it's just to create peace within ourselves and acceptance of ourselves. I don't believe in religion, but I do believe in philosophy and poetry and music and art as acts of creation and beauty. They can help us see past the door to something bigger than our individual selves, even if it's just a glimpse. These last years and months have also helped me grow in my sense that the miracles of us being here together and sharing this time and space creates a responsibility in each of us to further the experiment, to do what we can to push life a little farther along, to teach or to create or to help, to give more than we get. I've tried at least. Maybe that's a hedge, but it's a free hedge because it actually does feel good to do things for other people, to be part of a community. Either way, now I know whatever happens next, it's happened to me. And I want all of you to know that I'm fine with that. I wish I was still with you, but I'm okay. And it's more important to me now that you are all okay too. You have things to do and lives to live and need to get a move on. I hope that you all will retain some part of me, a memory, a lesson I tried to teach, a joke I tried to tell, a song I bored you with. I want you to know that you were all part of me and were part of my appreciation for and understanding of the world. I don't mean that in a general love for all mankind sort of way, but specifically, I can think of specific words, ideas, or actions from each of you and how they changed me, how they taught me, how they helped challenge me, how they made me happy. Thank you. At the top of that list are Dex, Ella, and Jeannie. I would not have been the person that I am without them being a father to two amazing people who are funny and kind and creative and smart and strong, and who were willing and patient about helping me understand, no matter how slow I was. I know that watching your dad go through this illness was hard, and I want you to know how much energy I drew from you and how much you helped me. Some parents look back at a certain age and wish their kids never moved past it, that it was the best time of their kids' lives. For me, being your father and watching you meet each new challenge just got better and better as time went by. Please know how sorry I am to not be there with you for more, to see you grow and find love and have families. I fought as long and as hard as I could, and I'm so, so sorry that my leaving has hurt you. I promise that after some time being hard and sad, it will be okay again. You have each other. Part of healing and good health is finding your mental, emotional, and spiritual happiness too. As I always told you, be kind to yourselves and to others. Find your passions, try your hardest, and never give up. Ask for help when you need it. Live consciously and have fun with your lives. Play is a good thing. My love and pride for you has no limitations or boundaries. I hope you will be as happy in your lives as I was and as I am right now. It's important to me that you all know how much I love and miss my wife, Jeannie. I fell in love with her while fly fishing and rock climbing and playing golf, while eating good food and drinking too much wine, and playing pool and shuffleboard and dive bars, taking turns picking songs on the jukebox. Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra was a favorite, and even after 20 years, we would find each other's eyes across the room and smile when it played. She's the best person I've ever known. I only wish that I had danced with her more. Some people say that their wedding day was the happiest of their life, but not me. Each year got better. Each year was my new happiest year, including this last year while we fought together against cancer. I learned more about life, about myself from Jeannie than anyone or anything, more than I could have ever dreamed. And I would not have been the man that I was without her love, her confidence in me, her acceptance of my many flaws, her patience, her strength, and her character, her infinite capacity to love, her willingness to make jokes with me to help make a scary situation less terrifying. If I could have invented a perfect woman for me with my choice of personality, heart, brains, and looks, it would have been Jeannie. I don't think she really believed me when I told her this, but it's true. It's also true my happiest days were all with her, even often at a five-star hotel in some amazing exotic location, ordering room service, watching a movie with the do not disturb sign hung from the door. I won the lottery when I met her. She's my best friend. I love her. I like her. And I still can't believe she said yes. I was also lucky in my mom and dad, who were so young and worked so hard as parents, and my wonderful sister, who I didn't see or tell I love often enough. Plus, I had an even bigger family that I picked up along the way. Too many to name, but I hope you know who you are. Friends, former classmates, and colleagues who made me laugh and feel accepted for who I was, who cared about me and about the world, who taught me. Those are really big gifts. I want to say something about illness. My cancer was not hereditary or caused by lifestyle or environment. It was just hard luck. A certain amount of crappy things happen every year to lots of people who don't deserve it. This one happened to me. In my case, the randomness meant I could either be angry or to accept it and buckle up for the fight. I chose acceptance. This is not the same as resignation. I always lived in hope that my fight would be different, would have a different outcome, would beat the odds, that I would be an exception, glass half full. And while sometimes I felt anger and self pity, it seemed counterproductive and pointless to wallow in it, just as pointless as running away or piling on distractions in order to hide from my illness. After my diagnosis, I was asked by someone if I was working on a bucket list, but it made more sense to me to be as present as I could, to see you all and hear your voices, to pay attention to each day that resonated more with me. A walk and a coffee at Crissy Field felt better than a safari in Botswana or swimming with sharks. Bucket lists and last meals are for when you're living, not when you're dying. So don't wait. Whatever it is that you want to do, make it happen when you are fully capable of participating and enjoying it. For Pete's sake, just drink that good bottle of wine you're saving for a special occasion. Nothing is more worth celebrating than simply being here with the people that you love. And nothing goes better with a $200 Cabernet than a $20 pizza. I hope nothing like cancer or terminal illness ever touches your lives again. But if it does, please remember that the illness doesn't define your friend or family member. I know it can be difficult to know how to act in the face of a fearful situation, especially if the illness drags on for a few years. But remember that they are still the same person. I had the best doctors in the world who were heroic in their efforts on my behalf. But the biggest help I got was from my network of supportive friends and family who simply made time to hang out, sitting in the kitchen telling stories and sharing laughter, lots of laughter, talking about crazy things that happened around us, normal stuff, not board games. I never liked board games. And not the advice about what someone's cousin's friend's roommate did to beat cancer, not the special diet or wonder vitamin, not the dropped off dish of lasagna. If you are ever unlucky enough to know someone again with a terminal illness, just be their friend as you were before and stick by them. If you don't know what to do, just do your best. In my experience, that's good therapy. I have mentioned luck more than once, and I have enjoyed far more good luck than bad. I had a fulfilling and challenging career, two beautiful and inspiring children, a wife who I never stopped having a crush on, and who I missed when I was not there. I traveled and saw amazing places and even got to live in a few of them. I loved and appreciated my life and had more perfect moments than I can count. Being diagnosed with brain cancer certainly threw my good fortune into sharper relief and helped me to savor and appreciate my days. But I'd like to think I lived with gratitude for my life even before my illness. I hope so. Because here's the thing, it may feel at times like it's spinning apart, but the world is just awesome. We are surrounded by beauty and poetry if we just pay attention. And that beauty can help sustain us when bad or ugly things happen. Life doesn't always give us what we want, but it never fails to offer us the opportunity. And it takes so little for each of us to do something to make the world a better place. I was a very fortunate person in my life, given many gifts and a couple of bad deals too, both earned and unearned, but mostly lucky. Even now, lucky to have been here with my family, with all of you where I was, what I was doing. I lived and I died a happy person. I love you, and I hope you all are as lucky as me. I do, however, wish I knew how Game of Thrones was going to end.
Jeannie, thank you so much for sharing that with us. What an extraordinary, extraordinary letter, and an extraordinary man, of course, as well. It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Himmelstein, who wrote and will read us a poem called Rainbows.
Thank you, Dr. Rebo. Just in case you haven't seen her on the floors of the chemotherapy center, you'll see her face. We started the Ellen Resnick Quality of Life Fund that funds Food for Life, and this year started a subsidy program for parking for people who go there. So inspiring then. I will tell you, Gail, you're going to have me on earlier. I'm crying already before I start from everybody's words, so bear with me. I went to Iceland, and just as it happens, tripwires, and you remember your loved one. She passed in September of 2016 of bladder cancer. It's called Rainbows, and the picture is in the PDF. I wrote to her of rainbows, our little secret handshake, private language, brilliant little code. Only a few take it how I know we do. It is a reminder. It is a memory. It is of her. She had some vague notion, belief of after. And then when she left this existence, all her and my friends joined to eat fried chicken and vanilla ice cream and tell stories. When we left that place, it rained very hard, and the most beautiful rainbow appeared. Now we attribute every rainbow to her. I know she would get joy knowing this. I know in my heart that she does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I think this gives us all a chance to think about Ellen when we see a rainbow now. So it's my pleasure again to introduce Dawn and Tim with another song. This one, Keep Me in Your Heart.
Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while. When you get up in the morning and you see that crazy sun, keep me in your heart for a while. There's a train leaving nightly, called when all is said and done. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sometimes when you're doing simple things around the house, maybe you'll think of me and smile. You know I'm tied to you like the buttons on your blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts, take me to your dreams. Touch me as I come into view. When the winter comes, keep the fires lit, and I will be right next to you. Engine drivers headed north Pleasant Street, keep me in your heart for a while. These wheels keep turning, but they're running out of steam. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Thank you, guys. Next, I have the privilege of introducing Judy Long, who's one of the palliative care chaplains in the Division of Palliative Medicine, an education expert and part of our team at the Mary Center for Education and Palliative Care, an expert on caregiving. And Judy's going to read a poem written by Thich Nhat Hanh and then lead us through a ceremony of names. Judy.
So thank you, everyone. I feel so privileged and honored to be here. I'm particularly happy to read this poem. I'd forgotten about it. And then Gail said, Judy, can you pick a poem that you'll read? And one of my best friends recently sent this to me because I had read it aloud 10 or 15 years ago at her husband's memorial. Since then, Thich Nhat Hanh actually was at UCSF. He was on 14 Moffett after he'd had a stroke for some time. Don't know how many of you know that, but an honor for all of us. So here's the poem. The moment I die, I will try to come back to you as quickly as possible. I promise it will not take long. Isn't it true I'm already with you in every moment? Just look, feel my presence. If you want to cry, please cry, and know that I will cry with you. The tears you shed will heal us both. Your tears are mine. The earth I tread this morning transcends history. Spring and winter are both present in the moment. The young leaf and the dead leaf are really one. My feet touch deathlessness, and my feet are yours. Walk with me now. Let us enter the dimension of oneness and see the cherry tree blossom in winter. Why should we talk about death? I don't need to die to be back with you. So what I'd like to do now is to light a candle, and anyone who might have a candle with you that you'd like to light, I invite you to join me in this. And this is a candle that I light in memory and in honor of all the people that we've loved who have moved on And may we take a moment to allow our thoughts, our attention to drop into our heart space and to wish each of them a safe transition to whatever they're moving into, and to send them our love, which remains. And while you're lighting your candle and holding these thoughts in your heart, anyone that has a loved one in your mind that you'd like to put in the chat, we're going to have some time when our wonderful harpist Patrice Hahn is going to play her harp music for us. And if you would please put the names that you wish of your loved ones into the chat to honor them, that would be wonderful. Yeah. Patrice, if you'd like to join us.
Judy and Patrice, thank you for that. Beautiful music to accompany just an amazing parade of beautiful faces, all of them. Thank you all, and thank you for all of you who contributed to the chat as well. I want to introduce
Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me now in our litany of remembrance. And I invite us to read this litany responsibly. I will read the words in white, and you will say the words in blue. In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. Thank you.
Thank you, June. This brings us to the end of our service. Before we close, I want to offer my deepest gratitude to many, to all the speakers and musicians, including our family speakers especially, to Patrice Hahn, our harper. A special thanks to Gail Kojimoto, who literally has been behind the scenes, making all of this possible. The Day of Remembering is, for her, for sure, a labor of love, but it is labor, and I really appreciate all the work she does, and she is also the one who made the video. And I want to offer my thanks to all of you, all of the participants today. You bless us all with the gift of your presence, for your holding the space for each other, and sharing your grief with this community. There's a saying that I often think about, what the heart has loved and lost, it will never lose. And may all your loved ones live on in our memories, but also in our lives, in how we live and how we act, how we care for each other, and how we love. Our Day of Remembering is going to close with more music and the video again. Please feel free to stay and listen as long as you would like. And thank you again for being a part of this community and for being a part of the Day of Remembering. Thank you all.